So last month, you got to hear writing tips from science fiction author S.M. Warlow. He provided a great set of tips for structuring and planning your story and manuscript. This month, I have romance author Thea Landen bringing you something that I hope helps you continue your writing journey this holiday season.
Hi everyone, it's Thea Landen, author of Sultry Stories to Enchant and Excite. Today I will be talking about everyone's least favorite topic, money and how best to spend it as you embark on your publishing journey. First, a quick recap. As I'm sure we all know, there are multiple paths to getting something published. First, you have the traditional publishing route, where you submit your book to an agent, they turn around and submit it to publishers for their consideration, and the publishing house takes on the majority of the work, as well they should. Then there is self-publishing, where you are responsible for everything. Then finally, there's sort of the middle-of-the-road option, the smaller indie presses, where they do a lot of the work, but you're still responsible for making sure people hear about what you've written. All of these are valid. Do not let anyone tell you otherwise. For my personal experience, I started off with these smaller indie presses before doing more on my own. And today, when I'm talking about that topic, nobody really likes to talk about money. I'm going to be talking about self-publishing. We are also going to be working off the assumption that you are not living off an unlimited trust fund or anything like that, and your resources do have a limit to them. So, money, assuming you have a moderate amount to spend, where can it do the best work for you? All right, on to our first topic, editing. You need an editor. You are probably going to need to pay for an editor unless you have an editing friend who is willing to give you a little bit of a discount. Now, very rarely do I speak in absolutes, but I'm going to do so here. Do not publish anything, especially if you've never published anything before. Do not publish anything without at least one completely objective set of eyes going over it. Again, here, your friend giving you a discount might not be the best option. But if you are putting your book out there for the world to see, and it's got spelling mistakes, grammar mistakes, people are forgiving about plot, that's kind of subjective. But if it looks unedited, people are going to put it down right away, and they're not going to give you a second chance. They're not going to buy your next book either. So you need an editor, and do not be afraid to pay for an editor. This is some of the best money you can spend when you're working to get your book published. Next up, cover design. This one is really important because this is what's selling your book to people at first glance. They might not even look at the blurb if your cover looks like garbage. Now, can you do this one on your own without spending a lot? Maybe. This one kind of has a wide spectrum. If you are decent at graphic design elsewhere and you want to give it a try, I'm not going to tell you not to. Just make sure you're really, really in tune with what the standards of your genre are. If you think you have this great artistic vision, but it doesn't look like any of the other books in your genre, you are not going to be applauded for your thinking outside the box and your great wild ideas. No, readers want to know what they are getting by looking at your book cover. Now, as I said, can you do this on your own? Maybe. Pay attention to fonts. Pay attention to how well you can read those fonts. Images, too. Got to be careful there. What is it really conveying? On those two topics, images and fonts, you need to be really, really careful with licenses. Yes, sometimes that costs money, but you do not want someone suing you and taking away all of the money you have made off your book. Now, if you are new at this and you don't want to get involved in any of that legal garbage or picking colors or any of that stuff that some people enjoy, some people don't, this is a great place to outsource. There are so many cover designers who know what they are doing and will give you a brilliant final project. And a lot of them have a wide price range. Trust me, I am not going to sit here and tell you that for your very first book, you need to go out and pay someone $5,000 for a beautifully handcrafted, original, one-of-a-kind, no one's book cover will ever look like this again cover. You don't need to spend that much. However, to make sure that you're getting off on the right foot, this is money that's well spent. Ooh, now we're getting to the controversial part. Ready for it? Formatting. And this is probably where I'm going to get some hate mail about my views, but that's okay because I'm not going to read it. So, formatting. Again, if you want to outsource this and have someone do it for you and you don't need to worry about it, that is a perfectly reasonable solution. And again, like the cover design, you have a wide range of prices. I'm not going to tell you who's better than who. You can do your own research and decide on your own. But formatting is an area where if you have the patience, you can definitely do it on your own without spending a lot. Now, we sort of have two different things going on here. We have the ebook version and we have the physical version, whether it be paperback or hardcover. Now, again, I'm not really a person who talks in absolutes, so you can just consider this a strong suggestion. Don't pay money for someone to format your ebook for you. You can do it. I promise. If, for example, you're going through Amazon, their step-by-step guide is dead on accurate, no problems. Follow it perfectly, step by step by step, and you will have an ebook that is ready to go, no problems. Now, one of the reasons that ebook is so relatively simple is you actually don't want a whole lot going on there. Like, yes, we've all seen all the books with the fancy chapter headings and whatnot. Save that for the paperback. And here's why. Number one, people have their own e-readers. They read on their phone. They can do whatever they want with their settings. So whatever you put into your file, they can change it. Don't worry about it. They just want basic naked text. They just want to see the words, make sure they're formatted kind of nicely, no weird spacing issues, anything like that. But you don't have to go all out there. Also, another interesting point is if you put in all those fancy graphics that you don't really need for the ebook version, retailers like Amazon will charge you more for, quote, delivery fees. It's based on the size of the file. And again, most people reading on ebook don't really care about that sort of thing. So for your ebooks, keep the formatting simple. And again, the simpler it is, the more likely it is that you can do it yourself. Now the part where I'm really going to get the hate mail that I'm not going to read, paperback formatting. Now, again, to start off with, you can absolutely outsource this. If you want to pay someone else to do it, that's fine. They will do a great job. If you are concerned about the amount of money you are spending to get your book published, you don't really need to spend a lot. Now, there are plenty of programs out there that are specifically book formatting software. I'm sure they are great. People love them. I'm not going to tell you not to use them. If you've heard great reviews, if you've seen your friends' books and they look exactly how you want your books to look, go get them. It's fine. This is where I get the hate mail. If you already have a copy of, say, Microsoft Word sitting around and you don't have to pay extra to use it, you can format your paperback in Word. People will yell at me. People will say, oh, it's going to look unprofessional. No, they're wrong. I've done it plenty of times. So many of my friends have done it plenty of times. Now, is it the most intuitive program to use for paperback formatting? Your first time out, you might be pulling out your hair. I certainly was. I said a lot of bad words the first time I ever set out to format a paperback on my own. But I just wanted to tell you that it is doable. If you're looking at a place to cut corners financially, this might be one of them. Again, a little finicky at times, a little frustrating. If you decide you don't want to deal with a headache and just want to pay someone else to do it, again, sure, go for it. I won't be mad at you. You don't need to care if I'm mad at you, but go for it. But it is possible to format a paperback and make it look really nice and put in all the little chapter heading graphics we talked about and everything. You can do it in Word if you already own it and you do not need to spend extra money there. And again, if you disagree with me and send me hate mail, I don't really care. The last budget item on our list is advertising. And I'm going to label that one with an not yet. I really don't think you need to spend money on advertising right off the bat. Now, it's true what they say, one of the best free things you can do, and I hate this as much as everyone else, start building your social media presence because while it's annoying, it is free, and it's a good way to start getting people's eyes on you and your work and everything you have to offer. Once people start reading and once you hopefully get some good reviews coming in, then if you want to play around with some Facebook ads or Amazon ads, go for it. But as a very, very first thing to do when you first publish your book, I really don't recommend spending your money there. And I think that just about wraps up our little chat where I tell you how I think you should be spending your money. If you have any other questions, or if you want to send me that hate mail I'm not going to read, or if you just want to talk about whatever's on your mind, you can find me at most of the big social media sites or at thealanden.com.
A big thank you goes out to Thea Landen for being my Creators Corner guest host during this month's full episode. Now, if you'd like to connect with her on social media or get copies of her work, you can find all of those links by visiting the video description.